Hey everyone, thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you guys had a wonderful day. What you're looking at right here is a brand new patch. That's the UFC 3 gameplay update number 6. I'm going to run through the patch notes with you guys, and I'm also going to put a link to this article right here in the video description below. Go right ahead, check it out, just in case I missed something. But man, this patch is very grapple heavy. A vast majority of the changes revolves around the grappling, and the reason for that is because a lot of people have complained, that this game is basically a kickboxing game. Grappling does not work. Grappling is not effective, especially when you're facing a good striker. There are not a lot of options when it comes to taking a fight to the ground. So a lot of people complained. The developers listened, and a lot of brand new updates to grappling has happened. So we're going to go through that. The first thing we're going to look at is takedowns. It says right there, the biggest change to grappling comes in form of a new feature allowing you to perform takedowns on your opponent that cannot be denied. If you guys played UFC Undisputed 3, you remember that there are situations where you can shoot a takedown and the opponent cannot deny it at all. Now in UFC Undisputed 3, it was borderline OP. If you duck under any strike, basically you can shoot a takedown right under that and dump people on their head and they can't even block it. In UFC 3, in EA UFC 3, something similar has been added, but you have to meet a few requirements first. To be able to perform these takedowns, it says right here that you'll need to use a fighter who has a double leg takedown. This only works on the double leg. And the fighter has to have a takedown rating of 90 or higher. So you can't do this with just anyone, and you cannot do this with a single leg. It has to be a double. It says the first scenario right here, as you see, Mark Hunt goes for it. I mean, this animation right here doesn't really show you how good it is. Go right into the game, test it out. I don't know why they use this footage. This does not really look good. It's all glitchy, and the arm is like, yeah, I don't like this footage at all. But anyways, what I'm saying is, if you time the takedown just as the fighter is going for a forward moving rear leg kick, the leg kick that lands on the outside of your lead leg, you can get an undeniable takedown. The first scenario in which to execute this takedown is against a forward moving leg kick that lands on the outside of your lead leg. A window will open up just before the leg kick lands, and if you execute a double leg takedown attempt inside that window at proper range, you will perform a takedown that cannot be denied. So, when you hear about an undeniable takedown, it could freak you out a little bit. Like, oh my God, is this going to become overpowered? Does this mean that striking is killed completely? No. First of all, like I said, you got to have a character with a takedown rating of 90 or above. They have to have a double leg takedown, and you have to shoot at the right time from the right range, or else you're not going to get it. So that's the first scenario. That one has to do with leg kicks. The second scenario has to do with a missed strike. When an opponent throws a strike and they miss, there's a window in there where you can shoot a takedown, a double leg takedown, if you are in the right range, and you can take the fight to the ground. It says right here, it's important to note that you need to be in proper range in order to hit these takedowns. If your opponent misses a forward moving strike, you will need to execute the takedown from within kick range. So if it's a forward moving strike, you have to go for the takedown within kick range. And if the opponent misses a standing strike, a stationary strike, then you have to execute the takedown from within punching range. So it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be something that you're going to be hitting consistently every single time you go for it. It's going to require some practice and some timing, but it's going to reward good grapplers, and it gives you another option for taking the fight to the ground. The final scenario right here, as you can see, it happens when you duck under a rear strike. It has to be a rear strike that your opponent misses. If you're able to make the strike miss with head movement, a small window will open up before the strike will land, and you can take the fight to the ground. It's important to note that the takedown window scales with the different strike types and the stamina advantage you have over your opponent. So go right ahead, read through this, practice it, see if you like it. Personally, I probably will not be using this a lot. I really won't. But again, more options to take the fight to the ground for those of you that love to grapple. The next big change has to do with takedown attempts when the opponent is 2 feet away from the cage. Hold on, let me make sure I got that right there. 2 feet off the cage. If you go for a takedown while the opponent is near the cage, it will result in this cage position right here. And from this position, now grapplers will have 2 options. You have the first option, which will be to go for the body lock right there. Boom. And you see this one, I'm gonna let it show again. Right there. When you get them in this position, you can go left and you shoot the double leg, or you can go high and go for the body lock high throw right there. One more thing that was done to help grapplers in this position is when you get, if you're a striker, if you're the defending fighter and you get put against the cage like that, the pummel to over under has been slowed down. It has been slowed down to give the grappler enough time to actually finish the takedown. So it is going to be on the defending fighter to camp on that deny and to try to figure out exactly where the opponent is trying to go. If he's going for the body lock high, you gotta try to deny that. If he's going for the double leg, you gotta try to deny that. Opens up another option for grapplers. Again, I think this one I'm actually going to use because it looks really cool. So try it out and see what happens. So that is it for takedowns. The next thing that was done is something called a muscle modifier. Basically, if you're on the ground, this one has to do with all get-ups. If you're on the ground and you hold R1 and you perform like certain transitions, it's going to be sped up, but it's going to cost you a lot of stamina. Like right there, you see that? From Sight Control, Curtis Blades, who's a brand new fighter, by the way, in case you guys didn't notice. Curtis Blades performs the get-up. If you guys notice, if you try to do this without this new muscle modifier, that get-up is slow as hell. But with that, it speeds up, you're able to perform the transition and you're able to get back to your feet, but it costs you a lot of stamina. So, for those of us that don't want to be on the bottom, let's say you've been winning the fight, the fight is almost over and the opponent gets like a lucky takedown or something, and you don't want to be stuck on the bottom. Let's say you already have stamina advantage and you can afford to lose a little bit more stamina. Boom, that's when you go for that. You pop right back up to the feet and you get back to striking. I really like this one. The next change to grappling has to do with ground and pound. And ground and pound is something that a lot of grapplers have complained about. They've complained that it's not dangerous enough. You cannot finish high-level players on the ground. It's really difficult to finish opponents on the ground. So it says right here, in an attempt to make finishing the fight from the ground more viable, we've slowed down head health regeneration on the ground. So if you're getting punched in your head on the ground, the head health regeneration is going to be slower than it used to be before the patch. This means that the damage will persist for longer, making it possible to use strikes more strategically to set up finishes. They've also made the grapple advantage gained from blocking strikes expire, which means that the defensive player will need to act quickly to take advantage of it, which will basically mean that the ground game, the pace of grappling on the ground should be faster. But we'll see how things turn out. Those of you that love to grapple, go right ahead, test it out, and let us know how it goes. Finally, says that right there, they've increased the speed of ground strikes from back mount and stacked guard, and increased the damage that those strikes deal from stacked guard. Wow, I did not even know about this one. Damn. So the speed of ground strikes from back mount has been increased, and also the speed. Look at this, that is fast. All right. So if you have a player on your back, you cannot hold block like you used to. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. Something to keep in mind if you're a striker and you don't want to be on your back. So that is it for grappling. Now let's talk about the fun part. Fun part for me specifically. This has to do with footwork. It says the biggest change to the stand-up game with this content update involves the footwork of forward moving combinations. Now, we've talked about this on my channel. We've talked about how when fighters are moving forward in this game, they're sliding all over the place. A lot of times they can maintain both speed, forward momentum, and maximum range, and that is not realistic. If a fighter wants to maintain full range on their strike, Either forward momentum or speed will be sacrificed. If a fighter wants to maintain forward momentum, usually range gets sacrificed. Something gets sacrificed. You don't usually see fighters throwing forward moving combinations while maintaining the speed, forward momentum, as well as maximum range. So to make things more realistic on forward moving combos and also give defensive players more of a chance to counter, more of a chance to be defensive, this has happened right here. Any forward moving combination will start to lose range and speed on the third consecutive strike thrown, unless you are switching between body and head strikes, in which case the range reduction begins immediately. So that cheese combo, that jab to the head followed by the straight to the body, if you play online right now, you're going to notice that combination is not as effective as it used to be. You'll notice players are starting to whiff a lot with that. This also means that if you want to land combinations, get closer to the opponent. Don't start throwing combos from a mile away and expect to land all of that. It's going to be real dangerous now. Range reduction means that your fighter will not track as well against a backwards moving opponent. In fact, as soon as the range of your forward moving combinations get reduced, a retreating fighter will start to avoid your strikes and create space without having to perform any evasive maneuvers. So you can simply move backwards like that and the strikes will miss. I really love this one. It's going to add more skill to striking. It most definitely will. The main reason why it's actually going to add more skill to striking, especially if you're the aggressive fighter, is that you can still maintain that range if you pause. See that right there? She goes for the jab straight, paused, left, right. Jab straight, pause, left, right. And she was able to maintain full forward pressure. That is realistic. That is how it would work in real life. If you were to throw the same combo without slowing down at all, it would look more like that. So if you want to maintain forward pressure, if you want to maintain full range on your forward moving combinations, when you throw your combos, try to pause between the combinations. You throw 1-2, pause, 1-2, pause, follow up again. That balances things out. It gives a defensive fighter an ability to slip whatever is coming and also counter as you're pausing. And it also gives you an ability to maintain forward range. I really like this change, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this plays out. I'm very curious to see if people still think aggression is too difficult to deal with. It definitely was before this patch. I'm hoping this is going to make it less difficult to deal with. Finally, we've tuned the advanced side lunges to have more range. Oh my god, yes, I gotta try this one out. It says they've tuned the advanced side lunges to have more range and further reduce the evasive retreat stamina tax by 50%. That is awesome. That is amazing. These changes should give more options to every playstyle when it comes to footwork. Alright, so that is it for actual gameplay changes, the changes that would affect the actual gameplay. There are a few game mode changes and AI changes. You guys can read up on that on your own. Like I said, I'm going to put a link to this article in the comment section below. Go right ahead, check it out. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. And I will be recording fights with Curtis Blade, and there's another fighter that was released. Also, I'm going to show you guys all the fighter model updates. We have a few. And I'm going to show you guys the brand new taunts in the game. There are quite a few of them. I can't wait to make these videos and show you guys all of this. In the meantime, let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are. Are you happy? Are you not happy? Have you played online? What are your experiences? Let me know, and we'll go from there. As always, thanks for watching. Keep yourself safe, and have a wonderful day.